Over 10 million Americans are affected by fibromyalgia in the United States alone. 9 out of 10 of them are women. This has a dramatic effect on the individual's lifestyle. 30 to 40% of patients with fibromyalgia either stop working or are forced to change jobs.
Hi folks, Russ Scala here. Today I want to talk about fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and my journey and my research over 20 years in this illness. Let me walk you back. When I was a triathlete in the 80s and 90s, we had a lot of athletes, men and women, with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia that weren't getting answers. Fast forward 10 years, I started working with war veterans, police, fire, EMS personnel, people in high stress occupations who often had symptoms of chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia.
For the past several decades, there has been little advancement in the treatment of fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. The best medical institutions fail to embrace new and innovative gender-specific testing and treatments.
A fibromyalgia chronic fatigue program has to be customized and has to be gender specific because men and women respond to the treatment protocols differently. It's a combination of looking at the microbiome, looking at the mitochondrial function, and looking at nutritional and hormonal levels and having that customized to each person. Most of the chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia patients I work with in the last 10 years, people that have been on a 5-year journey or came to us from the Mayo Clinic, obviously the families are very frustrated. So what we do is we walk the family through about 3 hours of training so they're able to ask the tough questions. We have to do a discovery. A lot of times my team is dropped into the second act of a third act play. Okay folks, one of the things that we do when we take a deep dive into the latest research in 2019 is we compare and contrast what the best institutions are doing, i.e. the Mayo Clinic, for fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. We look at their research, we look at their treatment protocols, and then what we do obviously here is we take a deeper dive on the cellular level in a gender specific program to help families get answers. And as you can see on this poster here, we look at the brain-gut connection, we look at neurotransmitter levels, and we look at the physical, mental, and emotional stress that may be impacting the patient, male or female. And what do we have to understand, folks, about stress is if you're under a lot of stress, physical, mental, or emotional stress, and it's going to lower not only your feel-good neurotransmitters in your brain, but it's going to lower your immune system. So these are some of the areas that some of the leading institutions aren't looking at because maybe they don't have time. And I'm not shooting down the leading institutions. We just have the ability with our laboratory, our pharmacy, and our physicians to take a deeper dive into chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. Folks, I wanted to compare and contrast the difference between the Mayo Clinic's treatment protocol and what we do at Scala Precision Health from a more personalized, gender-specific treatment protocol. As you can see, we take a deeper dive into the metabolism. We look at the microbiome, we look at the mitochondria, we look at nutritional and hormonal imbalances and where that patient is in their life, what kind of stress are they under. So what we did here with the deeper dive is we looked at the brain and the gut connection, we look at the age and the stress levels. So this is a multifactorial approach to treating fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue that isn't currently being looked at anywhere. Another thing that's impacted is our brain chemistry, because people that have chronic fatigue or they have fibromyalgia, they start to have muscle wasting. And when you start to have muscle wasting, you lower your neurotransmitter levels. And we've had people that went from canes to walkers to wheelchairs over the years that haven't gotten any help. So we want to prevent muscle wasting. We want to impact neurotransmitter imbalances. And remember folks, your intestinal tract, you are not what you eat, you are what you absorb. So if a fibromyalgia patient is not pulling any nutrients out of food, a lot of times we got to get those nutrients intravenously into their bodies so we could put a shield up so they're not mining nutrients out of their own muscle tissue and bone. As you can see folks, we're more personalized. We customize the treatment protocol for the individual versus a standard treatment protocol that you see in traditional medicine. Folks, thanks again for watching. I want you to share the Russ Scala YouTube channel because we want to educate people all over the world. You can see scalaprecisionhealth.com as well as my book American Biohacker, now available on Amazon. Thank you and be safe.